First, I would like to recognize Miami Light and FUNDarte. Beth Boone, I see, is here and is a stalwart of the community, has been putting on musical and theater and other events for quite some time. And Miami Light participated in this event, and they put on the Global Cuba Fest in February. This was an event that coincided with the Festival of the Arts up in North Beach. So it was a nice complement to it. Also, the city of Miami Beach participated in concerts during the Festival of the Arts weekend as well, and helped to make that event a wonderful success. I'm going to read them all off, and then maybe all of you can come up. FUNDarte also, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, participated in the Global Cuba Fest. And then another one of our stalwart promoting organizations, not-for-profits, the Rhythm Foundation. I see Laura Quinlan is here, who with her husband James has been consistently putting on some of the best musical events, cutting-edge events that our city sees, and also in Miami. So we absolutely commend them for that experience and that event that they promoted. Afro Roots was presented by the Community Arts and Culture Group. That was mostly featuring local artists rather than simply some of the more famous groups that were brought in from out of the country at some of the other events. Relevant is a group that helped to promote these events. And then the North Beach Bandshell Trust, headed by Daniel Vaitia, is sort of the glue and the energy and the caffeine that makes all of this possible. Altogether, these events actually spent close to $300,000 in the North Beach community, either through the groups that were paid and the promotion and production of the events, and that doesn't count people that went to shops and spent their money, or people who ate in restaurants in the neighborhood. Of that money, almost $100,000 was provided by grants by various city, county, and other agencies. And in this time of shrinking budgets, we know how difficult it's going to be to continue to get those grants and to be able to put on these kind of events. Sometimes people look at it just as the arts promoting itself, but the spillover effect to the business community should not be underestimated and is very significant. If you ask the merchants and restaurant owners in the North Beach community, I'm sure they would attest to that. So the promoters put up almost $200,000. We hope that they did well. But the ticket sales represent only 5% of the cost of putting on events like this. And so there is a need for promoters, for grants to help subsidize these kind of events. So with that said, maybe the folks would like to come up, Laura, Beth, and some of the other folks. Why don't you come up to the microphone and just say a few words about the event and, you know, how you were able to do it, and we thank you very much for your effort. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Thank you. Okay, well, we want to say thank you to the community, thank you to the commissioners, thank you to the city of Miami Beach, thank you to the mayor. You've given us financial support, and support that is much more important than financial support, which is, I guess you could call moral support. Miami Light Project's celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. I know the Rhythm Foundation did last year. There are a lot of great people and organizations whose shoulders we stand on, so we thank them for paving the way for us. We've done events, Miami Light Project has done a few events at the Bandshell over the years, but nothing of the magnitude of Global Cuba Fest. My partner, Ever Chavez, who's the director of FUNDarte, is magnificent and, you know, just way more than 50% of the equation. I'm going to make him come here and say something. No? Absolutely not. He makes me talk. But we got a lot of support from a lot of people to make Global Cuba Fest happen. And I want to say thanks to the Rhythm Foundation for really being the first group to really, I think, imbibe that place with a great spirit over the years with their best that she'll talk about. So I don't know. Thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
I'm Laura Quinlan, Executive Director of the Rhythm Foundation, and I want to thank the best staff anywhere. My colleague Jean DeSouza, Associate Director of the Rhythm Foundation and Development Director, Vanessa Campinki, Production Coordinator. We've worked at the Bandshell since 1999. Prior to beginning our concert series there, I had previously visited the Bandshell for skate night and Halloween costume contest as a child, and to think that it could become a performing arts venue was really a leap, but we're really glad we made it because we've surveyed our audiences and we've found overwhelmingly that the North Beach Bandshell is their favorite venue to see live music. We produce throughout the year at the Adrian Arsh Center, the Gusman, the Fillmore, the clubs, and the Bandshell is overwhelmingly the #1 venue by our audiences. They come from the Tri-County area, they come from beyond South Florida, and they love coming to live music shows at the Bandshell. So we thank Daniel Vetia from immensely much for working with us to keep this as a home for live music, live quality cultural programming for the community and our visitors to enjoy. Thank you for the recognition.
Thank you, Laura.
We really got to think these are all nonprofit organizations. They don't benefit financially from these events. They actually break even if they're lucky. And this year was just such an amazing amount of energy and effort that had gone through to provide this community programming, not just for the businesses that benefit from it, but giving the residents in North Beach something that the whole family could enjoy. If you ever go to an event at the Bandshell, you'll see kids running around. It goes across all demographics, and it's just a wonderful venue. We appreciate the city's efforts, the city's Parks Department, and the Director of Tourism and Cultural Development, who also play a role in supporting us in the events that we do at the Bandshell. This year, Max Sklar's department is issuing a North Beach Initiative grant, which will be a specific grant for organizations, nonprofits like the ones that have produced this event this year, to bring more programming to North Beach, not just to the Bandshell, but to the Byron Carlisle. And this year during summer, we are starting our second year of skate nights on Friday nights starting in July. So every Friday during summer moving forward, we will be offering skate nights for the family and other community programming for everyone to enjoy. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Jose Elias. I'm the Executive Director of Community Arts and Culture, and I'm glad to be here in the presence of all my mentors and supporters, and of course the city. Thank you for this great recognition. I'd like to say that going back to 1999, when the Rhythm Foundation started doing events there, I was there as a young lad back in those days, and I've come up through the ranks, as they say, helping out Rhythm Foundation in the past and some of their shows as a stage manager at the Bandshell, and then eventually down the line when I was able to start my nonprofit organization. We always had the goal of reaching the Bandshell, and thanks to colleagues like Jean DeSouza and of course Daniel Veita, we were able to make that possible 3 years ago, and we're going strong. Every year we've increased our audiences, and like Commissioner Salgros mentioned, we are focused on local artists. Ever since we started our festivals, we've seen more and more patrons come out and support local art, which is very important because with that, we're able to give some artists who don't normally have the exposure that they deserve, which is very important for them to move forward in their careers and to also, you know, be able to develop as professional artists. So I'd like to thank all of you for this great recognition, and again, thank you, Daniel, and the city.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll take a photo.
Congratulations. Oh, sorry. A little off center. So, no, they are. Oh.
Gotta get a center.
Morning, ma'am. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah,
You like
this
that?
young lady.
What is it? Are you lefty or righty?
This young lady.
Yeah, I've been reading about you, by the way. So don't.